Good morning, everyone. It's Lee Henson, President and Founder of AgileDad, and it's time for today's episode of the Daily Stand-Up. So without any further ado, let's get started. Today, I wanted to talk to you about something that was brought to my attention. It was an article called Three Elements of a Great Team Culture by David Burkus. It was published back in September of 2021, but this is one of the better articles that I've read recently, so I thought I'd share it with you, and we do a quick review. So he says, why are some teams more motivated, more innovative, and more successful than others? Why do some groups with talented and seemingly compatible people fall short against lesser teams with less suitable members? And why are we still so surprised about which team members excel and which ones fail? This is a whole article written about high performing teams, right? And we expect that high performing teams deliver high value results more consistently. But how do you build that high performing team? Where do you start, right? What foundation do you lay? We have a tendency to believe that successful teams are created by recruiting top talent and raising the average talent in the team. That's not necessarily true. He goes on, but recent research shows that it isn't a portable, it isn't as portable as we thought, right? And that recruiting star players can often be more trouble than it's worth. I specifically remember the one year when the United States Olympic basketball team recruited all these star players, and they were all good in their own right. But when you put them together, they lost almost every single game because even though they could have had the opportunity to practice together and play together, they didn't take advantage of that because they were all prima donna and thought that they would just do better. They thought that they were above that, right? Which is really, really interesting. So it's important for us to understand that great teams don't become great because they recruit all the top talent. Great teams become great because they shape habits and culture. So, amen. It's just an excellent, excellent, well thought out article. It says, fortunately, organizational psychologists have been studying what explains the culture of great teams for over a decade now. And while each study and each paper and each psychologist has slightly different terminology, they all summarize what they found into three core elements. So I'm going to talk about these three elements now. The first one is a common understanding. So great team culture equals common understanding. Common understanding to the extent where team members have commonly held perspective on their each person, on each individual's expertise, assigned tasks, context, preferences. They understand how they work together as a team. They understand how everyone else on a team functions. And sometimes it's regarding roles and responsibilities, things that are expectations, timelines, things that have hard delivery. Other times it's soft things like each person's strengths and weaknesses, or work preferences, or communication style that they prefer. But if you have that common understanding, that's a great start, right? So definitely a good starting point. The second one has to do with psychological safety. And this is, if you have a great team culture, you have psychological safety. It's the extent to which the team members feel safe to express themselves and to take risks. It's the difference between whether teammates feel free to disagree with each other and whether that dissent gets harnessed into task focused conflict that makes the project stronger. Psychological safety is also the difference between laboring away on a project long after a poor decision is made and catching a poor decision early and pivoting because someone felt it was okay to speak up, right? So I think as a leader, one of the best ways you can build psychological safety in a team is to encourage dissent. Encourage here means actively seek out and welcome dissent. Most leaders have a tendency to give space for dissent very briefly by throwing quick comments, concerns, clarifications at the end of a long meeting. But you need to be able to allow people the time to have their opinion be heard instead of speak now or forever hold your peace, right? So you want to make sure that people clearly understand that dissent is a good way for us to gain psychological safety because it teaches people that speaking out is okay. And finally, he has one called prosocial purpose on here. And it says the final element of a great team culture is prosocial purpose. Prosocial purpose is the extent to which the team members feel like they're making a contribution towards work that benefits others. In this way, it's more than just regular purpose. It's more than knowing that they get a paycheck from a company with a fancy mission statement. Prosocial purpose means that each member of the team knows exactly what their unique contribution is and knows who is helped by the product or service that they built. There's a growing body of research suggesting that these people are the most motivated when you can recognize a specific person or group that benefits from their work. It could be a customer, a stakeholder, a coworker whose job's made easier. Anything you can do to give that recognition helps. We work best when we know that what we've done has made an impact on others' lives, right? It helps them. When you make somebody's life better, that's going to make it better for us. I think that in closing, he talks about great team cultures are built on common understanding, psychological safety, and pro social purpose. But these three elements aren't just standalone pillars. They interact with and combine with other pieces to produce the entire culture, which is a greater than the sum of its parts. When a team has common understanding and pro social purpose, over time it attracts the best people to join it. And when a team has a common understanding and psychological safety, those people begin to contribute to their best ideas. And when a team is marked by a psychological safety and pro social purpose, those same people put forth their best efforts. So it's kind of a round robin. When you get common understanding, psychological safety, and pro social purpose all in one, you're going to have the best team ever. So I guess what they're trying to say is it has nothing to do with the disc assessment or with with the ability for someone to play merry matchmaker and figure out who goes with who. While all these different techniques, have been good for years, the truth is that if you have these three things, you're going to be well on your way. So I applaud you, David. It's a well written article, well spoken, and it appears to have all the good answers. If you want to learn more about this article, you can go on davidburkus.com, and it's a September 2nd article. I'll throw a link here in the description. But as always, I wanted to tell you if you have an article you want us to review, if you have something you want us to talk about, reach out to us. Learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to hear what you want to talk about. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.